Welcome back to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me is the one and only and lovely Ronnie Karam. We are in part 2. If you're wondering what happened to part 1, well, it's on the feed, so chances are you may have missed it, so go back and check it if you haven't listened to it. Otherwise, if you're just jumping in now or you're picking up from where you left off, here we go. So Meredith is like, well, I have a question here. My question for you, Heather, is we've been friends for several years now, and I'm wondering why I didn't get more support from you on this trip, specifically in describing the difference between neutral, drive, and reverse on a moped. Thank you.
In the cave, you didn't stand up for me at all.
Yeah, what that?
Don't she talk like that? It cracks me up thinking of you. You didn't stand up for me at all.
You didn't stand up for me, not one bit at all.
And so we see 2 days earlier.
You're sending the DMs about Anja and we're done. Meredith, you're done. We're sick of this, Meredith.
And Meredith is like, I was so hurt and disappointed. So,
by the way,
Heather's like, well, listen, Monica was just very clear and she was very convincing, and you didn't even have an issue with anything that she said. So what was I supposed to think?
And by the way, what's hilarious is that all of like the OGs, basically everyone except for Angie K, because of course they all know what like that Heather's going to confront Monica, and they can all see what this is. So they're just kind of like going through the motions of like fake dust ups right now, just waiting for Heather to take over and do what she's going to do. And so Heather does
well,
that.
It's interesting that they're even going through all of this. Part of me was like, well, are they trying to prove like, listen, we can still have a good finale even without this Monica stuff. Like, we're still going to have really good fights even before we bring up this Monica stuff, which of course didn't prove out. Like there was no proof in that pudding. You know,
I don't think they thought this was going to be the finale, because normally a finale party does not happen on vacation. It does not happen without all sorts of others there. I'm sure production wanted Mary to be part of the finale, but it just had to be the finale, you know? And by the way, good job, Bravo and Shed Media, for saying this is where the season ends, because all too many times we've seen a season climax and then we sit through 2 or 3 more episodes where you're like, why is the season still going? Like, that was the climax. So good on them for just ending it right here, because look at how breathless we all are.
Well, I wonder if they even had the choice, because
that too.
The cast could have just been like, fuck, no, I'm not going to go shoot with that person. They just totally, no way. There is no way. And I cannot believe you guys just cast a Craigslist gossip on this show. Like, seriously, are there any background checks on this show? Which, of course, we know from past casting. Jenny, Jen, pretty much every housewife that there is no research. or it's even worse, and it's malicious, and they purposely cast these people, you know, which I guess is a conversation for a different day. But
right.
Who knows?
So, you know, Heather's like, you know, Monica was very clear and convincing, and, you know, you didn't seem to have an issue with it. And Monica's like, Heather and I had, like, gone to a point where, like, I have, like, matured, and, like, what, I don't, like, react to, like, lies.
No, Meredith said this.
Okay, that makes much more sense. It's like, why is Monica saying this?
Monica's never claimed to have matured.
That's why I was like, this is wrong.
But I'm shocked to hear Meredith say it, too. It seems like the whole point of being a real housewife is to avoid maturing. So it's always weird when someone's like, yes, I've matured. But she did. She's like, I've matured, not facially, okay, but mentally. And I've gotten to the point where I don't react to longs with screaming and yelling. And if me being able to answer a question with that tone of voice isn't enough for you to believe me, then that hurts me. It's like Brooksy with solids. It hurts. It hurts.
Well, it wasn't just me that believed Monica. We all believed her over you. We all think that this is what happened. Correct. That's correct.
Correct.
Well, and you're just going to say, yes, you do. Just declared. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Denise Richards just shows up and goes, "Thank you, you're welcome."
You're welcome. So she's like, but why do you think we believe her, Meredith? Why do you think we believe you, Monica? What do you think? And Monica's like, because I have the proof, I have the DMs, and I have the timeline, and I threw myself right into that fire, and I just owned it, and it just all added up.
And
do you have the DMs? Has anybody seen these DMs? Because
no.
And we're not told, by the way, who these DMs were from in the first place. We're not told if these were from Reality Von Teese, which I'm wondering,
God,
right?
If it was Reality Von Teese, that's hilarious. No, but by the way, amazing that Monica says this and just steps right into Heather's trap when she says, I had the evidence, I had the proof, I had the DMs, yada, yada, yada. So Heather goes, so it had nothing with it to do with it being the truth. And Monica's like, girl, the first thing I said was I had the proof, girl.
Yeah, I had timelines. I had proof, and I had timelines, and I had everything.
I have so many screenshots from this show last night, trying to read the tweets, going on to Reality Von Teese, reading the tweets, getting the end cards because I'm too lazy to write down the goddamn end cards of any season ever. I will never do it.
I wrote them down, don't worry.
Okay, so I've got these ready now. So just remind me that I've taken.
Makes you want to never leave Bermuda. Am I right?
No wonder we never want to go back home. So Monica's, she's like, I had the proof. And so Heather goes, okay, so it had nothing to do with being the proof. She goes, yes, it did. And she goes, oh, okay. So Lisa's like, I don't think this is getting anywhere. And Monica just looks confused at this point. Mm-hmm. And she's just kind of looking at them, kind of blinking, but like squinting her eyes, like, what the fuck's going on here? So Heather's like, well, I have Meredith, and I really don't have many unsolved mysteries, burning questions for her. I do, however, have a few questions about Monica. I was like, Heather, you set up the game. Why don't you just give yourself Monica's doll?
Yes.
Why are you setting up the game and then fucking up the game? Because I'm trying to concentrate on all the drama, but I'm just like, you're not even playing your own game right. Now I'm furious.
And she goes, I do have a few questions about Monica. An unsolved mystery, if you will. I'm like, you don't have to be unsolved mystery thing. It's already a convoluted thing with the Bermuda Triangle would have been enough, but don't need to involve this. Just go forward. So then get like.
And by the way, the costuming is so good on this show that without even realizing it, Monica is in the perfect costume because she has now taken a blanket and wrapped it around herself and over her head, and the wind is blowing at her, so she looks very mysterious. They're like, for an unsolved mystery, Monica's like.
She's fully wrapped up. So the music gets very scary. There's a thunderclap. The music gets scary. And Heather goes, the mystery for me with Monica is, who is the real Monica? When I met you, we kind of bonded over being single moms of daughters. We really had a great tie. Lots of fun, charming, funny, witty, smarter than people may think. And I thought probably, pretty much an open book. Truth teller. But I don't feel like that's who the real Monica is.
Did the book exploit my vagina?
Whitney,
Whitney,
been
you
leading
don't
up
have
to
my
this the
doll.
whole episode.
You already did your unsolved mystery. Come on. We talked about how we're going to set this up.
So she goes, but I don't think that that's who the real Monica really is. And then there's silence, and Monica's just like squeezing her hair and squinting. Because Monica, at the very least, even if she doesn't know that all this Reality Von Teese stuff is coming, she knows that she hasn't paid Heather back.
She does know that.
Right? So she's just like, okay, just do it already, And so she's kind of bored with this whole thing, which makes it even funnier. Because Heather's like, the reality is Monica is someone who doesn't want to be our friend, but wants to profit from our lives and our pain. Like, first of all, didn't you just write a book that included everybody else's kind of life
and
their
vagina
pain in it?
Just sorry, that was for Whitney. A little support for Whitney there.
Yeah, that's for you, Whitney Rose.
I mean, I think that people who just like profit off of the lives of people on Bravo and their pain, I mean, who would do that? Who would actually create a
do that?
career?
Fucking monsters. I'm telling you. But here's a great unsolved mystery. How much do you make for being like an Instagram account? Because we know a bunch of these accounts. And now, of course, it's terrible to say how much do you make. You don't do that. I mean, I've seen The Gilded Age. I have manners. So I would never.
It is America.
Well, even a butler can decide to have an Instagram blog. Oh, America. By the way, please stop putting Nathan Lane in things. I can't with Nathan Lane. This is Nathan Lane's acting in The Gilded Age. Why, Mrs. Russell, why, never. Have you ever heard of the new Opera House then? Well, let me tell you, Donna Murphy's playing a character in this hurdly durdly snurdly. Like, who? Why does he cast in everything? This is literally terrible. Okay. Back to this. How much do Instagram accounts make? Because Reality Monteith...
They can make a lot.
Well, she didn't have like 8 million. You know, I mean, I'm assuming that they make a lot. I'm just like, how much? Like, it seems like a lot because...
I don't know. Well, I don't know. So, by the way, of course, I looked up Reality Von Teese last night, and the only thing that came up was like a backup account because it said Reality Von Teese 2, but I couldn't find the actual Reality Von Teese.
Oh, really? It's on there.
Oh, well, it wasn't on when I looked. Maybe it was like deactivated and then they reactivated it again. It probably has like grown exponentially.
I heard that they had to make a couple because it kept getting banned or something. But okay, I'll talk about it more as we get into it. I keep stopping because fucking Nathan Lane's annoying. So that's where I'm at.
So Heather goes, she says, like she doesn't want to be our friend. She wants to profit off our lives and our pains. I know who you really are, and who you really are is, and then all of a sudden it goes 2 hours earlier. So I'm like, wait, what? Ooh. Who is she really? Because I was expecting Beauty Lab and Laser, but what I was not expecting, I guess like I thought like maybe she was going to finish it by saying like you are someone who is, suing my company or you're a scam artist or whatever. But I was like, wait, what? So we go back in time 2 hours earlier, and now Heather is standing on a windy beach so dramatically. Her hair is blowing, her Tweety Bird dress is blowing, and
the tribal survivor music.
It's so good. Like one by one, the women are coming out to join her, like one at a time. It's so good. It's so overdramatic and melodramatic. Give me the shot music or whatever for the drinking game, but like it is so perfect. And
it is tricky because I was thinking, wait a minute, this scene is at night, so where were all these flashbacks to Heather talking in the daytime exposing all this stuff? But now we see she was gathering everybody at a meeting in the daytime, so like they all one by one.
And it's like a sort of like a dark, it's like a high contrast filter, but like sepia a little bit, so it's...
Well, they wait till sunset, too. They're like, we're filming this at sunset, It's like the White Lotus.
It was like White Lotus meets Survivor meets The Bachelor meets F-Boy Island meets like any reality show that's filmed on a beach. And it was so good. So she's standing there, and first one to come out is Whitney. And she's in her like crazy strap dress, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she has like this look of panic and urgency on her face that just somehow contrasts with this ridiculous dress that she's wearing too. Like this is gonna be a very serious moment, and she's in this like bizarre dress.
They literally all look crazy. I mean, Lisa came out dressed like a piñata. I don't even know. I don't know what her theme is. Like I have no idea what's going on. So every time someone comes down, they're like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Hold on, we must wait for everyone." And then Lisa, "Hey, are you okay? You look like a regular flavored Coke." And Heather's like, "No, we must wait for everyone." And Meredith's like, "Oh, I'm on a Vespa." You're actually just walking, Meredith. Still, it was hard to let go of.
Yeah, it was just, it's like I've got Vespa legs right now. So Lisa's like, I'm nervous, I'm shaking, I'm nervous and shaking. Oh. Heather's like, so am I. There's something I need to tell you guys. And it's big. And it's not good. What is it? You're going to cry, Heather. You're going to cry. Oh, my God, Heather, you're going to cry.
Oh, my God. I haven't seen Heather almost cry like this since she found out you're supposed to wear bras in college. Am I right, good time, girl?
Can you... God damn it, Lisa.
What is that? Guys, we've been a long way together, us four. We have. And Monica is not who she says she is.
She's not our friend. She's someone that has schemed and worked to infiltrate our friend group. And the name that you all know her as, Lisa goes, what's happening? The woman whose birthday was celebrated, who we have been trying to champion and support and defend. And by the way, the choir's going, I'm making it sound very, very quiet, but the choir was going nuts. The woman that you have known is...
It's like final, like...
Her name is...
Reality Von Teese, and the chandelier crashes down from the sky and kills Carlotta. Like, jeez.
Lisa and Meredith go, what? No. And I was like, wait, what? I don't understand. I was like, I'm with everyone with this bombshell revelation. I have no idea what it means, but wow, what a revelation.
So funny, because we really do have that difference between us. I get so obsessed. Like, I read all the accounts, I read all the gossip, I read all that shit. Yeah.
I read the gossip that makes it far enough to get onto my radar, if that makes sense. I'll read the gossip. When there's something that's happening, something major that's happening, like this episode or Scandival, I do go deep. But for regular stuff, I'm just happy for whatever eventually trickles over to me, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. I'm obsessive. I'm like that with everything. I mean, even if it's like, you know what? I want to buy a new desk. I'm like, I will read every review.
Oh, well, I'm like that.
I will search this on Twitter. Or, whatever I get into, I will just sit there and read about it for days and days. And this stuff I really did, especially when it becomes the crime stuff. You know what I mean? Like the Erica Jane stuff or the Jen Shaw crimes. Like, I love reading up on all that stuff. So I knew who they were, but still... I didn't know it as being as I mean, they're making it sound like this vicious, horrible thing. I don't remember it being that at all.
I mean, the name sounded vaguely familiar to me, because there are a lot of Bravo, content creators out there, and a lot of them are pushing, here's the latest gossip and news, and it can be kind of, at a certain point for me, it's hard to tell them apart a little bit, not from any shade. It's just that like everyone's delivering a lot of same content, and so it can be hard to remember, wait, which one said that thing, where's the origin of this meme? I can't keep it straight necessarily. So I was like, Reality Von Teese, that sounds familiar. I was like, I don't really know. I was like, I think maybe I remember that, but I'm not sure. It was not like a moment of like, oh my god, Reality Von, like it was not like she's Dumois, I of course know Dumois. Like that would have gotten me like right away. But I was happy to learn, and I was still in the moment and very happy and very excited.
But even without knowing like what it is, when you're like, oh wow, okay, the new cast member is the head of an account that's been trolling us and attacking us, right? So and
actually,
then we see
even before they described what Reality Von Teese was, just when Heather said she's Reality Von Teese, so I was like, oh my god, I don't know what that is, but. I'm still shocked because the reveal here is that like Monica has a different identity. Like even just on that level alone, that like whoever Reality Von Teese is, whether it's a content creator, whether maybe I thought maybe is that the name that she went under when she was suing Beauty Lab. I didn't know, but like what I did know from this statement was that Monica has an alter ego, has another identity, and that alone is major. And I was like, oh my god, I'm already gagging.
Yeah, well, that's always been the kind of the mystery, the unsolved mystery about Monica since she came on, because people are like the different names, and then you look at pictures of her from just a couple years ago and she looks so completely different. And then she worked for Jen Shaw, but when did she work for Jen Shaw? And then she said at one point she asked her friend who worked for the Secret Service about Jen Shaw, and he said, oh, steer clear of her because she's going to be arrested, where they have a massive case. But then on Watch What Happens Live, she said, oh yeah, I called my friend about Jen Shaw. She made it sound like she had something to do with getting Jen Shaw in trouble. So there's just like all this weird conflicting stuff. And then her mom saying that stuff to her, like, oh really, your real name? Or there's just always been this stuff. So to find out that Monica does in fact have a different name, and she's the secret tricky lady.
And then you take it back to the, maybe the second or third episode of the season. I think maybe even the second episode, when Monica is making her swaddles with her mom. And Monica does her famous, hilarious monologue thing about how I went to a Louis Vuitton store and I spent $5,000 on a bag because I just wanted to fit in. And it's like the most hilarious, melodramatic, silly moment where she's crying. And like how funny that there she was presenting herself as the poor girl who just wants to fit in. And then the reality is that she's been trolling them all this time.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Friday, January 5th at 8/7 Central, join the Revolution on MTV.
And hold on to your wigs because RuPaul's Drag Race is back.
Season 16 kicks off with 14 bold new queens looking to break through the noise.
They're bringing the looks, shade, and gags you love and love to hate.
With a panel of star-studded guest judges ready to roast the runway.
But with Drag Race, everything is extra, so this season is serving up all the twists.
That's right, immunity is back.
Queens will have the chance to slay and earn safety from elimination.
And for the first time ever, Rue will sashay out of the way as the queens will have to judge each other.
Get ready to see what other sickening surprises are in store as this season brings power to the queens.
Who will seize the moment?
Find out on RuPaul's Drag Race, premiering Friday, January 5th at 8/7 Central. The future of drag is on MTV. Okay, well, this is let's get into it because I don't want to go off too far on my own here because I will in just a minute because I've been doing a lot of screenshotting, as I've said.
Here we go.
But Heather's like, we see reality shocker, Reality Von Teese releases damning Jen Shaw video. And Heather says she has been running this account dedicated to annihilating and exposing Jen Shaw. But quickly it expanded to troll all of us. Me, Whitney, Meredith, Lisa. These were character assassinations. So then they pop up very quickly, these screenshots of what these crimes are. One is a response to a Mary post, which I have to say, this Mary post is worse than probably anything that Reality Von Teese said. Mary is just vicious. Mary says Whitney Rose needs to worry about the women she took advantage of in the ladies' restroom one night at a club. Talk about your truth, you liar. I'm like, damn. So then the response from Reality Von Teese was actually Whitney Rose is a swinger. She uses the bathroom as an opportunity to recruit. So that's crazy. But also, was Mary getting this information from Reality Von Teese? Yes, right? Like, where else do you get that?
I'm not sure where Mary gets her information, just generally speaking.
Okay, so then we see a repost of an Instagram story that is
this one I remembered. This was a big this one I did not realize was broken by Reality Von Teese, because this became a talking point at the reunion, right? Where Jen Shaw had said something like talking about Heather, and she said, "Bitch, you ain't a fucking actress unless you're auditioning for a manatee or Shrek." So, and then of course that was discussed on the reunion. You called me Shrek or a manatee. So did I interpret this correctly that Reality Von Teese was the one who put this phrase out in public? Or did Jen Shaw post that in public?
I thought it was because it was an Instagram story of a DM session. So let me pull it up here. I know this is where we get in trouble here. Not in trouble, but you know what I mean.
Like we mess up our facts.
We get in the this is
Makes
where we
me
get
never
in the weeds.
want to leave Bermuda. Am I right?
Okay, so let me see. Trigger warning. No, that was the trans thing. Okay, this is from Jen Shaw and Reality Von Teese. So this is a DM session between the two. So Monica in this is egging Jen on and trying to get her to say mean shit, and then she's screenshotting it and then posting it on a story. Like she tricked her, in other words. So it starts with, bitch, you would, and that is Monica saying that. And then Jen writes back, "Hey, white girls, stop doing white girl shit and shut the fuck up and take a seat next to your best friends Karen and Becky in the back row." And then Monica hearts that and writes back, "Why are you the only real bitch?" And then Jen writes back, "They're fake ass white girls. Lisa's the only other person I can fuck with." And then comes the, "Bitch, you ain't a fucking actress unless you're auditioning for a manatee or Shrek."
And then Reality Von Teese, aka Monica, posted this on her account.
Yes. So then the next post, it says, "Trigger warning, LGBTQIA plus derogatory language," because Jen called someone Heather's tranny twin. Pardon me. So this is where I was like, well, that one is standing against Jen for anti-trans stuff. And the one before that was outing Jen for calling Heather Shrek. This is going to backfire. That's what I wrote. It's like, this is going to backfire. This doesn't really make Monica look that bad. It makes it look bad that she was lying to you guys and that she's this other person. And yes, it does make her look like a fan, which is the worst thing you can be in a Housewives world. But she's ultimately kind of standing against evil. That's where I'm at.
She is, and I think that's where a lot of people, online, there was a lot of pushback to Heather saying like, you were ride or die for Jen Shah, and like we're supposed to care, like we're supposed to be on your side about this. But I mean, I can understand why there would be frustration by this group with Monica, because Monica's part of this group, but she has sort of like trolled them on the internet. That's just sort of like, I feel like that's something that reality cast members, that's like unspoken code. Like, when you're on the show, we can fight with each other, but we're like a family unit against all the influencers and content creators and yada, yada, yada. So anyway, Heather says like that, we tells us all about Reality Von Teese, but like we never knew who she was. And we see Lisa saying, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And then Meredith saying, "Well, how did you find out?" So Heather has this whole like this whole narration of how she deduced it, which is so funny because it's very much like spoken not in the tone of a Housewives interview. It's spoken in the tone of like, we're now watching 48 Hours. And like, or like Dateline, and the way that people tell like and so I pulled up to the convenience store and the car wasn't there. So she's like, "Before I had even met Monica, I had known about her through our mutual friend, Tanisha. Tanisha has been my hairstylist for over 3 years, and she used to be Monica's closest friend. Monica had a way of handling sensitive information that made me feel so uneasy."
Okay, so you remember I brought up Tanisha on the last Crappy Hour, I think. Tanisha and Bravo While Black, when we were on Bravo We're Black.
Can you remind me of what this was?
It's a great podcast. So go listen to that, because we talk about this a little.
I did watch Tanisha's response to all this, by the way.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, you'll have to update me because I didn't catch it. So basically, a couple of weeks ago, Tanisha came out with a TikTok just saying, "Oh, Monica's such a liar, and this is how Monica gets people." She'll say, "We had this discussion, but sure, maybe you were discussing it in front of me," but now saying to Meredith, like, "Meredith, we definitely did have this discussion about all this stuff." And Meredith's like, "Yeah, but I didn't say any of that stuff, And so she's talking about the ways that Monica manipulates situations and blah, 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 blah. So it's interesting because I was trying to figure out when I brought it up, like, who is this girl? Because if she's Heather's hairdresser, then how was she friends with Monica? Like, how did this all work? So it was good that they brought it up and kind of explained it. So Heather says that they knew each other, and she started getting suspicious of Monica just because of how she was coming at everybody with all this information. And they show a clip to prove this of her saying like,
"You want to come for me? Okay, foreclosure, check. Divorce, check. Affair, check. I stand in it."
And then her saying, "I've heard a lot of things like basically the Sean fucks other men thing. He has boyfriends running around." Just that she's so cavalier with information that can ruin people.
Right. Like she just puts it out there.
Right.
Which, of course, since we watched The Housewives, we're kind of used to this. So I personally was not shocked by her delivery, but they were shocked. And by the way, so Tanisha's, I saw a video. I don't know what platform it was on, but it was eventually reposted on Twitter. or X. And she basically was like, you know, this all goes to character. Look at my character. I think this speaks to my character. Look at Monica's character. Look at the people. She basically is like, I'm good. Monica's bad. But then she does this weird thing where she says, I'm just the sort of person that supports a friend. And like, if a friend says that they need support in something, then that's what I do. So I was supporting Monica. But then she basically says, like, I was supporting, but then I eventually stopped supporting. But she essentially, I think I stopped watching after a certain point. But my takeaway was her saying, like, yeah, I helped out with this account, but I was only doing it to support a friend because that's the sort of person that I am. I support friends. So it's good to see that.
Her out later.
Good to see that the Salt Lake
Heather.
City, yeah, I was about to say the Salt Lake City, like, I show up for my friends thing really permeates really everyone who's associated with this show.
Yeah, she really learned that one from Heather. So basically, Heather is like, I thought it was just oversharing at first, but now looking back on it, it was much more sinister. She uses information as a weapon, which, I mean, yes, welcome to your job. And she relished in the dirty, dark details and the exposing everyone. But in the moment, I didn't see it. But then right before we left Bermuda, things started to get weird. It started when I went to Beauty Lab to get a gift card from Monica and discovered that we had 3 Monicas with 3 different last names, but all with the same birthday.
I was like, oh, yes, go on. She goes, so I immediately called Dre, and she discovered that one of those Monicas had never paid her bills and owed Beauty Lab a lot of money. But then, when all of this started to go down with the weird messages and the DMs between Meredith and Monica, nothing was making sense. So then we have a flashback of Monica talking about the DMs and everything, that whole fight. And Heather goes, I didn't know who to believe. And then Meredith yesterday saying, I did not DM her information about Angie. But here's what's interesting. You know why I called her when I got that DM? It's because the DM referenced a bunch of stuff that she had already said to me. Me.
So then we see a clip of Whitney and Heather talking, and we hadn't seen this before, but Whitney's like,
Wait a minute, do you find it strange that Monica got a DM 1 hour before dinner about Angie?
and Heather's like, yeah, that was convenient timing.
And do you also think it's strange that you blame my vagina?
Okay, please.
Stay on message, okay? Show me on the doll where my book hurt your vagina. So it is strange. And by the way, if Meredith is in the hot seat, if Meredith had sent those DMs and now the heat is on her, she is not going to, she is shutting it down. She is shutting down the operation. She is not going to send another DM an hour before dinner. That is
She really overplayed that. I mean, even in the last recap when we were talking about that, we were like, wait a minute. Because at first we were like, obviously Meredith is guilty, right?
Yeah.
But then she just overplayed it. She's like, oh, and then I got this. And it's like, okay, Meredith isn't this stupid. You know what I mean? Like, Meredith isn't an idiot. You can call Meredith a gossip or a vindictive or whatever, but I wouldn't call her stupid.
And Heather goes, and the idea that it could be from one of our friends was incomprehensible. Might I even say horrifying, yet sadly familiar. And at home, Angie H. was sitting there being like, please show me in a flashback. Show me and my husband. Come on, give us one more second of fame.
I know, no kidding. Your friend Angie Harrington, who you were trying to have on this show, was the one who had the last fake account. Yeah, he had the last fake account that was coming after Jen Shaw specifically, and then later Lisa Online. Why are you guys acting like this has never happened? And you were involved with the last one, at least friend-wise. That was your friend.
And then something that Monica said kept coming back to me. And so then one day earlier, we had that conversation where Heather goes, do you think Meredith sent the DM? Do you think she had a fake account? Which now, in retrospect, was not Heather just being jokey. That was Heather fishing. She was totally fishing. Oh, my God, I love this. So Monica's like, girl, I didn't think she would ever do that. I mean, I didn't think any of you guys would ever do something fucking like that. Like, I mean, I would do that shit, girl.
So then she tells us that, she knew that Tanisha knows Monica really well. So she called Tanisha, and Tanisha had a crisis of conscience, and she came clean about it. And she said, there's something that you really need to know about Monica. Dun, dun, dun. She's reality Von Tease. So why are you still trusting Tanisha?
I know.
If Tanisha has been your friend and hairstylist for the past 3 years, and now you find out that she was like besties with Monica while Monica was doing all this shit,
it's the semblance of virtue. This is also why Angie Harrington's husband got off with Heather, because he cried and was like, "I fucked up. I got in too deep. I shouldn't have done it. I don't know what I was thinking." And Tanisha did it, so they are exonerated. And honestly, all Monica had to do tonight was just start to cry and been like, "Guys, I don't know why I was doing it. I was in such a sad place because of Jen, and I don't know what I've learned. You guys are like sisters, and I do feel terrible, and it was this lie I was living with, and I didn't know how to say it." Like, that's all. Like, she just had to say that, but she didn't, which is actually kind of great that she didn't, because it's so epic and it's like villainy. But like, that's all, on these shows, that's all anyone wants, is for someone to cry and be like, "I don't know, I got so deep, I'm so sorry." I mean, look what's happening on Southern Charm. Literally the same thing. Austin is getting off with Olivia in more ways than one, I'm sure. Whereas Taylor, who is, Olivia is, I mean, that's a whole other situation. But the point is this: all Austin had to do was pretend to be sort of, like
human,
humble, and he gets off. How many times can I say "get off" in one 5-minute session? It's like a new drinking game.
It's like you're getting off with it.
Getting off.
So, yes. The reason I think it's way worse than what they're saying is because Monica has been so upfront with everything else. I'm almost surprised that she wasn't like, "Oh my God, you guys, I worked for Jen Shaw," which she did tell them. "I worked for Jen Shaw, and she was so abusive and terrible to me that I had this account, and I would," it's almost.
Right. Yes.
It seems like it would be worse for her not to say anything, because she almost like brags about the bad things just to like take away people's power from bringing them up. So
and actually, to draw a parallel to Southern Charm, the reason why Taylor is getting raked over the coals so much more by Olivia is because she's presented herself as like, "This is the sort of person that I am," and everything that Taylor's done has felt a bit like a betrayal of what she has claimed to be, versus Austin's just a piece of shit. So like, we don't expect more from Austin, so therefore we're not disappointed. And so Monica is this truth teller. I say it like it is. I stand in it. But she is secretly has had this account that has, rattled these women for years. So it's actually a mass hypocrisy that's happening with her right now.
So basically, all this stuff starts popping up on screen, which is the evidence that Heather got, presumably from Tanisha.
I'm confused. Can you please explain some of this? Because I was confused by a little bit of this evidence.
Well, she says she got screenshots, text messages, audio recordings, videos, photos, DMs, all this evidence exposing Monica, and she was devastated. But she still needed to make sure it was ironclad, so she reached out to her friend, Bleep, and gave them everything. Now, when she said this, do you think she meant in the FBI? Because her dad was FBI, Heather's dad.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure it was. Well, maybe she made friends with some of the Homeland Security people who dropped by her lab that one time, this beauty lab. Maybe some of them, they arrested Jen, and then they were like, by the way, can you let us know a little bit more about your spa packages? Thanks. And
so what stuff were you confused about?
So they put up on screen when she talked about that her phone was flooded with screenshots and text messages, etc. from Tanisha. One thing that they put up on screen for a long time was something that said, "At Heather Gay, am I a thief or are you a bad mom?" And then Monica had a text that saying, "Bitch, we're in holiday. What's Heather's address? We just want to see it." So what did that stuff mean? I didn't understand it.
I have no idea. I'm reading it right now. It's too much. It's too much for me to put together.
Okay,
I don't understand what it all means. It's just they just put up a lot of stuff that you can't really. I mean, basically they show a text where there are 3 people, but it looks like it's Tanisha and Monica. I guess it's just establishing that they were friends.
Or maybe that's Monica
Monica
trying to get Heather's address from Tanisha, trying to like use that information. Maybe.
Well, this whole text starts with Tanisha saying, "But low key, cry face, cry face, cry face." And then Monica writes back, "Dead face, dead face, dead face." And she says, "T and I are on our way, ha ha ha." we are going out in SLC next week. And then someone says, let's do it. Oh, I wish y'all were here. Cry face, cry face. Bitch, we're on holiday. What's Heather's address? We just want to see it.
Oh, so maybe she just wanted to see Heather's house or something.
I guess.
Either way, showing that she was like definitely coming from fan perspective, not fellow housewife perspective. So
I guess.
Whitney now chimes in. That account Nil Hill. It was Annie Hill that did us. Anila, how do you say it? Annihilated.
That account, there's not just a Nile in Egypt.
You know what? That account released all the videos about Jen. That was Monica that recorded them. All of those audio recordings and behind-the-scenes secrets, things that have hurt and affected our lives that we fought over for 3 years, were all posted, curated, and spread by her.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So she's saying, I'm going to confront her at dinner tonight, and I want you guys to back me up. And Meredith's like,
I'm freaking out. This thing is just going too fast. What if I crash into something again?
Meredith, you're not on a Vespa. You're standing on the ground.
Oh, thank God. It was scary there for a minute. I felt like I was crashing into a 3-inch snowbank.
No,
So-
your head just keeps bobbling like you're going 50 miles an hour, but you're standing.
Oh, thank God.
And
Putting
Meredith...
on the brakes.
Meredith's hair is in her, like, her face, and, like, it's like her fake lashes have, like, clamped onto her hair and, like, won't let go. And it's blowing, and everyone's hair is in their face, and they're all crying, and all these lashes are fluttering. It is just, like, this amazing look.
So now we go back to the table, and Monica's just watching Heather, because Heather's in the middle of her thing. And Heather's like, I just want to know who you really are. Who you really are is the cyber bully, internet troll, reality Von Teese. And Monica has no reaction. She just kind of blinks at her. And then it's a big long pause, and then we get a boom. But Monica's just like,
Whatever.
She goes, Heather, you are reality Von Teese. No. And Heather goes, you are an internet troll. You are a cyber bully. You have been tweeting and undermining and bullying all of us for 4 years. You are reality Von Teese, and I have the facts to prove it. I have the text from your phone number saying, I am reality Von Teese. I am applying to be friends with these girls. Do you want to see the receipts?
and she's like,
Yeah, I would love to see those because that's not true.
so what did that mean? You're a reality Von Teese. I have the facts to prove it, and I have text from your phone number saying I'm reality Von Teese and I'm applying to be friends with these girls.
Which
So
it
what
sounds
does
like she
that
texted Tanisha that. Probably like, oh my God, isn't this hilarious? I'm reality Von Teese and I'm applying to actually be with these girls. Can you imagine?
Oh, okay.
That's my
So Heather's
interpretation.
like, you want to see the receipt? She goes, yes. And she goes, oh my gosh, this is how you know I'm telling the truth. I have your perfect formula. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, fucking everything to prove that you're a bully and a troll and you do not deserve to be at this table or anywhere near us for the way you treated us. Every single one of us has woken up in fear of the shit that you would post. Okay. And Monica's like, that was never my account. So Monica's trying to lie right now, which is interesting. And Heather's like, you are done. And then Monica just kind of rolls her eyes and then works out a mascara booger, like a mascara eye booger. She's like,
Now what?
This was so good. I was like, when Heather was rattling off that list, proof, timeline, screenshots, I was like pressed up against my couch. I was like the guy in the Maxell commercials with the TV or like the sound like blowing his hair back. I was like, this is so good. So then Heather goes,
this was my favorite part. Monica's doing her mascara booger, and she's not really reacting because she's trying to figure out. So the ha choir decides to just go into overdrive, and they start doing Latin haws. I died. Did you catch this?
No, I did not.
It's like,
They were
really?
doing tongues.
Are you giving us full-on Pope haws right now? Stop over there. Tabernacle choir.
So Monica's like, that is bullshit. That was never my fucking account. And Heather goes, you are done. You are reality Von Teese. I know you're reality Von Teese. And Monica goes, that's not true. Entirely.
Boom.
was like, oh, bitch. Oh, no.
So Lisa's like, what do you mean entirely? She goes,
Well, that means it's part true, Lisa.
and she goes, oh my God, disgusting, disgusting. You are disgusting.
Lisa.
And now they just, Heather goes, you think you can sit at our table and have us celebrate your birthday? And then Monica fake smokes. Did you catch that? She goes,
And then Whitney moves her chair away. Whitney is like, I'm moving to a different side of the Bermuda Triangle right now. So Monica's like,
You're not even listening to what I have to say.
and Heather's like, you infiltrated this friend group. You sought out Jen Shah on social media, and then you worked for her under the name Monica Valor. And then you got caught on security footage in Meredith's store, which is when Murillo stole the clutch, which of course they moved up Murillo's name.
it's Monica Fowler, though, just by the way.
Oh, that makes
so
more
she's
sense.
like,
I was
yeah,
like, Valor, that's a new name. I haven't heard of Valor. Valor.
She's just naming herself after fabrics. And then you showed up as Monica Pleather, and you tried to get free Botox again.
And then Monica Interlock walked into our lives.
I will never trust Monica Corduroy for as long as I live.
So yeah, she's like, and then there's security footage in Meredith's store. And Monica's like,
That wasn't me. I didn't fucking steal shit.
and
So
Heather
this
goes,
is when Murillo stole the clutch. And she goes,
Yes.
that wasn't me. So she goes,
Meredith.
so this is Monica again twisting stuff. So she goes, when Murillo stole the clutch, she goes, no, that wasn't me. I didn't steal anything. And she goes, it was you. You were blocking yourself from the camera and you had a different name. And she goes, what are you talking about? I didn't steal anything. It's like, no one's accusing you of stealing, but nice try. That's funny how you start getting onto people's little things, right? Like, you're lying because I didn't steal. Nobody accused you of that, madame.
and this activates Meredith.
You were at my store, Monica, and it's on my security footage.
Oh my God. And then when we see the security footage, it is so, what do you call it when you're like government witness?
Keystone Papers. Oh,
It's so government witness. It's just like this terrible blonde extension. Like you see all the tracks, the steps of the tracks in the back of the head. Monica kind of trying to hide from, it is so funny.
and she
she's
looks
like,
right
I
at the
did not
camera.
steal from you.
It's the security footage gave me chills. I was like, oh my God. I cannot believe this. And Meredith goes,
I'm not accusing you of stealing, but you said, this is the first time I have ever been here.
and so then 2 months earlier, Monica in Meredith's boutique going,
Oh my God, girl, this is so cute. I've never been here. Oh my gosh, never been here before, ever.
Never been here. Never been here. Never been here. Oh, never been here. Oh, never been here. Oh.
And Heather's like, you are a fraud, a liar, and a fraud. It's like,
Okay, Heather.
and Lisa's yelling, and you were doing drive-bys at Jen Shah's house.
you said you drive-bys. I feel like not the strongest evidence brought forward by Lisa. I mean, she did do drive-bys, but I feel like there's a lot of good stuff they're working with, and I feel like Lisa just wants to join in. But I feel like Lisa entering in, you did drive-bys at Jen Shah's house, just not as strong. I feel like that was pretty much public that she did that.
When was it public? What do you mean?
Didn't Monica have videos of her being like, look at me doing a drive-by?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Oh, I definitely saw one, but maybe that came out after the fact.
Oh, I was
saw
wondering
one
what
last
this whole
night.
drive-by thing.
It was her, like, she has like a little, she's like, looks like Claire Danes in Homeland. She has like a little scarf around her head, and she's like, oh my God, girl, I'm like driving by Jen's house right now, girl.
And so Monica yelling at her, I don't have to do a drive-by. I was with her the whole time, you dumb bitch. Like, I actually knew her. And so now Lisa and her yelling at each other, who's a dumb bitch, you know? She's like, you're a dumb bitch. Don't call me a dumb bitch.
I don't want to hear you fucking mouth again. You don't call me a dumb bitch. Ah.
And so Monica is like,
Well, you don't get to tell me to be quiet, you motherfucking piece of shit.
so now they're just cursing at each other and screaming. And Monica's like, you want to talk about it, dumb bitch? And Lisa's like, you're a dumb bitch. You got caught doing a drive-by and you had a cyberbully account while you're working for a fucking fella.
You're a fucking dumb bitch.
You're a fucking dumb bitch. Shut the fuck up.
By the
Monica.
way. So now Lisa stands up and she's yelling dumb bitch. They're just yelling dumb bitch at each other. And you see production. Oh my God.
Running in the background.
Production is freaking out in the back. Like, oh my God, do we stop? There's like some blonde girl who's like, we have to stop stop this.
They're opening
You
up
just know
curtains.
Deb is like, we have to stop this. It's going to get violent. And then Jack's like, you are not stopping anything, Deb. You stay in here right now. If that sliding glass door moves, Deb, you're fucking back to fucking Southern hospitality. She's like, no, we have to stop it.
Monica, the bottom line is, who do we fucking believe right now? Because you trolled every one of us. And Monica's like, you guys are not listening. So Monica tells us,
Monica, Vontice was never just one person. It wasn't just me. There were several other humans involved, but bottom line, our mission was to take down Jen. The other women were just collateral damage.
what are we watching here? This was, I was like, was this felt like it was they took it out of Revenge or something. To like, it wasn't just one person. There's a shadow conspiracy, and the other women are collateral damage. I'm like, what?
It was very Pretty Little
Network
Liars.
procedural
It was like, well,
writer did
A
this.
is Mona. Well, not really. Okay, A's not really Mona. It could be a lot of different people. It's like it's season 12. Can we please just treat it somewhat different every fucking year?
You know, Jenny from season 2 was probably being like, I was a victim of reality Vontice. Shut up, Jenny. No one wants to hear from you.
So now, from what I could gather, Monica's again not lying. Like, look, here's the thing. Yes, of course, all this is hideous. I think in general, Monica's iffy, like as a personality. I think she's been great casting, but as a person, definitely iffy. But from what I can tell and from what I can remember, all that's true. I mean, this account was just attacking Jen. I mean, it's to the point where it's like, you really don't want to piss off Monica, because if she worked for Jen, then Jen did something to piss her off, and now look what she does. She makes a whole Instagram account that does nothing but fucking comfort this woman every day. I mean, it's like obsessed and crazy. I think if anything, that's the creepiest thing about it, that it's like obsessed and crazy, and that she's like some crazy obsessed fan who eventually made it onto the show. But I couldn't really find vile stuff that she was saying about everybody. I mean, she said the thing about Whitney, like Whitney's a swinger, which I've heard that a million times. Maybe it originated there, and that's why I've heard it.
She meant she literally swings from poles. That's all she meant.
And then what's the other stuff that's so terrible that she said? I couldn't find it.
I didn't do the research. But I felt like it was still a betrayal of trust to be like, oh, you had a trolling account and you posted nasty stuff about us, and now here you are acting like you're our friend. Like, that is a huge like friendship violation. So Monica's like,
I never talked shit about you. Like, none of that shit.
So Angie, who's been sitting there the entire time, like, what is happening? Oppa. Suddenly she just activates and she goes, don't do that shit. Talk. She does this thing with her. Like,
no, she's imitating her, because Monica goes, I never talked about you. She's like shaking her finger and wagging it up in the air. She's like, none of that shit. And so Angie goes, none of that shit, and starts imitating her.
Oh, is that what she does?
Yes.
But then she goes, talk. And she does this thing, like she does like a pointing thing to the side or whatever. That is like, I don't know. It cracks me up when people point like that. So she does that, and Monica goes,
Angie, watch yourself, bitch.
So she's like, you've talked shit about everyone. And Angie's like, no, you watch yourself. You talk shit about everybody here. She's like, Angie, I'm not even kidding right now. Let's talk about your involvement. And Angie's like, oh, I did not do Greek shot. And she's like, yes, you did. You want to talk about how you're involved in reality, Vontice? Let's go there then.
and Angie's like, how was I involved? Laughing at your stories? And then we see like a wall of Angie like responding to reality Vontice with like, ha 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 ha. Laugh emoji, dead emoji. Oh my God, Angie K, Angie H, she is so desperate. Oh my God, ha 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 ha.
So funny. And so Monica's like,
Oh my God, these women are ridiculous. Like, oh my God, I'm so shocked. Reality Vontice. I mean, it's just so awful. Bitch, don't act like every single one of you wasn't constantly watching and DMing that page.
I mean, so what? What's your point? That's still terrible.
Yeah.
And this is like so Monica and this type of person who's like, you catch them doing the worst thing and they're like, oh my God, why are you being so overdramatic?
Yeah, you secretly liked it. So Monica's like, at this point, Angie has stood up, and so Monica's like,
Sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up.
and she goes, don't fucking talk about me. I didn't do shit on that page. And Monica's like, go pay the IRS. Bitch, I'm rich. That's Angie's great defense. And then she picks up a bouquet. That was my favorite part, was that Angie's like, bitch, I'm rich. And then she picks up a bouquet sort of threateningly, like a centerpiece.
She goes, bitch, I'm current. I'm current, bitch. I'm current.
My shit is fucking
I'm current. And she picks up this huge thing of flowers. And Monica's like, okay, go ahead and throw the flowers in. She's like, oh, well, still, I'm current. She just puts them back down on the table. Like, what am I going to throw, a bouquet?
This bizarre threat. Like, I'm holding a centerpiece. It may not be Greek,
Angie.
but it has the power of
Fucking
Dionysus.
awkward ass Angie picking up the centerpiece and then putting it down gingerly.
It was just like the funniest idle threat. But she was like holding it to the side too. Like she's just like presenting it like, not only am I angry at you, but I am selling centerpieces now for $39.99. Call now.
But also Monica, who didn't pay her beauty lab bill, is being sued by 21 different people for
Including her
non-payment
car wash.
and had her car taken back because she wasn't paying her rent or whatever on the car. It's like,
Go pay the IRS then. Go pay the IRS.
like, how dare you poor shame me, ma'am?
So then Monica goes, I'm being
I
completely
will not be
honest
poor
with you.
shamed by a poor.
Yes. So Monica says she's being completely honest. And when he goes, but you're not being completely honest because you ran the troll account that attacked me for years. She goes, I didn't do that, Whitney. I don't know what to tell you, but I didn't do that.
And so now she says, it wasn't ever my account. It was fucking Tanisha's account. That's whose account it was. So now she's trying to completely throw the blame, which, by the way, is fair because that's what Tanisha did first. They were obviously doing this both together, and Tanisha tried to get out of it by blaming Monica, and now Monica's doing the same thing. So Whitney's like, well, you know, you accused your best friend of doing the account, but then you're still sitting here with us, and that's supposedly your best friend. That's fucked up. And she's like, but I didn't start it. It was Tanisha. So Meredith goes, what?
Man, you do with that. Hold on. There's a yellow light. I am slowing down with that account.
You're not driving. Please. You're not on the best spot, Meredith.
I have a very important question. What is the real difference between yield and stop? Don't you kind of stop for both of them? Like, why do we have two different versions?
And why is caution the same color as yield? How does anybody not crash?
So Meredith's like, what did you do with that account? Why don't you tell us? And Heather goes, yeah, tell us what you did on Reality Von Teese. It's a fair question since it bullied all of us for 4 years. And when he goes, yeah, you just said that you partially ran the account. Yeah, and tell us, since you're such a truth seeker, honesty, etc. She goes, I didn't do that shit. I didn't do that shit. Well, why don't you tell us what you do with the account? Tell us right now.
And so now we get a whole new song. It's like, dun, dun, dun. And then it goes to like, da, 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 da. It's like a cartoon. It just keeps changing the score. So Monica goes,
Okay.
and then we get a new song. Dun, 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 dun. And Monica's like,
Some of them videos that I took of Jen that my friend told me to record of her, some of those are posted on there.
okay, so these are where there's video recording of Jen abusing the designer Koa.
Right, the
Where
famous
she's just-
video.
Yes, she's just losing her shit at Koa and basically abusing her while Coach Shaw just sits there dumbfounded.
Right.
And apparently it was Monica who took these videos and Monica who released them. Dun, dun, dun.
So then Lisa goes, what are you going to do? Video all of us and post it online? Which I'm glad that I'm mad that she said that because I wanted to hear Monica explain what she did with the video. But by doing this just sends Monica into this derails the whole thing. So we never get really any more details after that.
Yeah. So then, of course, it devolves into a typical Monica argument, which is you're so stupid. Fuck you, you dumb old fucking piece of shit. Rubber, leather, Donald Trump hand. Shut the fuck up. Donald Trump hand.
What Donald Trump
LOL. A, LOL. And B, you're no spring chicken, ma'am. Stop
Yeah.
age shaming everybody. Just stop it. Okay. The one thing you can always count on, if you're lucky, is getting older.
I know. She always goes the old thing.
You're ugly now.
And she's not going to have much longer to be able to do that. So Lisa's like, well, I don't want someone around me that's going to video me and post that online. Oh.
Yeah. So she's like, I haven't lied to you, which is more than any of you have ever done about your dark ass little secrets. And Whitney goes, there are no dark little secrets. Clearly, you're the one with the secret. You've been running an account that's exploited my vagina for years.
Monica's like, I didn't do shit. Janisha started the account. Blank ran the account. Blank did this to the account. And it was all these people, so you can bring it on me if you want. But I did nothing.
It's like the end of a Perry Mason episode.
She's basically like, I didn't say shit about anyone else except for Jen. Like, she was basically like the Jen account specialist. You know, like, it was like, oh, we have some good shit. We want to get a good story out there about Meredith Marks. Like,
Yeah, sorry, that's not my department. I'm Jen Shaw.
so she's like,
100%. I was did Jen Shaw, and I will own that to the grave because that little whore is one of the worst humans I ever met in my life.
so Monica says,
I don't think like reality Von Teese is like really that bad of a thing, girl. Like, I think scamming elderly people out of tens of millions of dollars is a bad thing, but I think having a fucking burner page on Instagram account to expose someone and their abuse is not a bad thing. I just think that's telling the truth, girl.
Now, see, this is where she's winning. And I have to say, you can't bring going against Jen Shaw up as somebody's bad quality and expect to win in this in a public relations kind of a way. You just can't do it. I mean, I get the whole like Monica's lied to us this whole time. She's been a fan of this person this whole time, but you guys already knew that. She was a freaking assistant of Jen Shaw's that's been on the show. Like, none of that's this huge of a surprise. And from what we can tell from even all the stuff that they've put up on the show, all the evidence that this lady posted on her stupid blog or whatever, all it's doing is calling out Jen Shaw, who's one of the worst people to ever be on television. So you can't, they're putting themselves in the position of like, now we're mad at you because we're standing up for Jen, which is horrible. Like, that's just going to make the audience completely turn against you. It's like, it went from like one of the greatest moves to you're losing this. I felt like it's an election night and I'm standing there watching the numbers come in and I'm like, oh no.
well, there's
We're
two
not winning. The East Coast is, or the West Coast is starting to come in, or whatever it is. The East Coast is starting to come in.
I mean, Monica is smart for reminding everyone that these women sort of like went to bat for Jen Shaw when Jen Shaw was blatantly a criminal, and everyone knew she was a criminal, and the writing was on the wall, and that like an Instagram account doesn't even pale in comparison to like wide scale fraud. Yes, but I think the issue is where I think the women got off with their messaging was that they should have been like, you had an account where you were like shit talking us for years and you didn't even mention that. Like, how do you not mention that? Like, that's so deceptive to us.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's
right.
just the way they're playing this. The politics are turning very quickly. You
Right,
know
because
what I mean?
because it's the message then became about like what you're doing was terrible, not like no, the way you were deceiving us was terrible. So Meredith's like,
Monica, for 3 months you've sat here with us and not told us the truth.
and Lisa's like, do you understand it's about deception? You fucking deceived all of us.
So then Heather goes into a monologue, and she's like, there's something you missed in this group. We're friends. Just for jazz. Ding. And we've been through, so then this is where Heather goes through her, you're basically Jen Shaw, okay? She basically goes into her, you're basically Jen Shaw monologue, where she's like, we've been through this before with Jen. Every day we would wake up afraid that a lie would be posted and told and spread and exploited. And we were in it with her. And we're the type of girls that ride or die. Like, what is your argument?
The ride or die thing has to go away. It's not been working out.
That's gotta stop. And it gets worse. She goes, and the way you were made no sense, but how you acted was strangely familiar. And the way that we were tortured. I ate shit every day for Jen Shaw, and I lied to protect her. I did whatever it took. I went on a book tour and defended her for the fact that she gave me a black eye. It's like,
dun, 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 dun.
Just when you thought all the mysteries had come out.
It was a last second mystery. But of course, like, for those of us who had seen people post on Instagram being like, hey, we better find out about that black eye. As soon as Heather starts teeing it up, I was like, oh, she's going to say it. But it still was exciting. And I was like, oh my God. Like it was like the twist on the twist. Like we already thought we had our big twist, but then there was a late twist as well. So everyone was like, Lisa goes, whoa, whoa. And Monica's like, well, I'm glad you finally told the truth for once. So good for you. And
Boom, sing, dong.
And Heather's like, I had to write hard for her and I had to lie for her. And we're not going to do that again with you. Okay, we had 3 years of domestic vacations. Okay, and now we're finally in international waters and you're going to try to drag us back to go into Tucson for our next vacay? Absolutely not. I will not do this again, Monica Fowler.
Pack your bags and go. And then she sits down and Monica's like,
Okay.
and then she just kind of gets up and walks
She realizes she's done, right? So she walks off and she tells us, like, I more than anyone know that nothing stays in the dark and everything always comes to the light. And I knew this information would come out. Even Gossip Girl couldn't stay Gossip Girl forever. But it's
well,
like, why didn't you
Gossip
get
Girl
ahead of
did
it,
make
though?
it like 10 seasons or some shit. Like, how
Yeah.
long did Gossip Girl? I mean, Gossip Girl made it a long time, Monica.
I will
this
say
was kind of a
this.
fail in the Gossip Girl.
By the time Gossip Girl was unveiled, the show had really declined in quality, and this show is just booming right now. So this show's already like many, many steps ahead of Gossip Girl. So, but if you know that it's going to come out, then you should have gotten ahead of the story, Monica, because this was actually very manageable. You would have taken some hits, you would have cried, blamed it all on Jen Shaw, group hugs, talk about growth, move on, etc.
Well, there's a couple problems here. One, this Heather monologue about being victimized by Jen Shaw, but then writing for her, when there's still clips of her being on Watch What Happens saying like, yeah, well, I mean, I already knew that Jen's business was shady, so why would I not be her friend over it? I mean, I guess that Heather will use that to be like victim-y, like, oh, I've been abused, and this is like abuse, someone who's been abused behavior, right? That you're just so afraid that you do whatever that person says. Or as you always say in these recaps, the alpha. You're such an alpha,
Do I say that?
Yeah, that was like the running joke of Heather.
Oh, yeah,
in
Heather,
Girls
the
Trip,
Girls
when
Trip.
she's like, oh my
Wow.
God, just
Big
me
dogs.
here with all these alphas.
With the big dogs.
Big dogs, yeah.
I believe, I mean, there's definitely a certain sense of like, maybe leaning into like, I was the victim of Jen Shaw, but I also believe that there was some strange codependency in that relationship. And, like,
Well, she was literally the victim of Jen Shaw. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody was terrified of Jen Shaw.
I think that
I'm
they
just
realized, I think that they were like, you know what? She's going to jail. We know she's going to jail. Let's put up with her shit, because then once she's in jail, we can be free of her. And now they're free of her. And now that they are free of her, they're like, oh my God, life is so much better. And we should have done this a long time ago. And now they're like,
And we're not letting in another Jen.
right. So then now we get our end of the season stuff, which is just barely tacked on because this was so full. I was like, how are they going to do the ending things? So the music. So by the way, Monica walks off. The music is now very like sad. Like, look at the devastation that has been wrought. And Heather starts to sob at the table, and then Angie's consoling her, and Meredith is standing above, and then Whitney starts to sob. It's this like dramatic thing. Everyone's posting a photo of the women at the table and putting it all over Twitter and like naming it, pretending it should be in the Louvre, because it is just like perfectly shot and framed, etc. So we learn Heather has been relishing her time with all 3 daughters and enjoying conversations about life, love, but definitely not sex. Do you want me to do them all? I wrote them all down. I can just go through them all.
Yeah, I mean, I took screenshots.
Whitney continues to navigate the bumpy road of marriage, work, and family with Bobby as her chauffeur. I'm like, I still don't really support that. I feel like that's
still dangerous.
still
guys.
bad.
Okay, you
not
cannot give
legal.
a child a car. I don't care if it's a golf cart. Bobby,
It's not legal.
and especially once we know that Bobby is a soda alcoholic. We've seen Bobby at the soda machine. We've seen what it does to her. It was my favorite. It was one of my favorite child scenes ever, where Bobby got soda drunk at her birthday party. She's like,
You don't tell me what to do. I'm 13 now.
Next one is after jacking off at the Mission Training Center. After sending Jack off to the Mission Training Center, Lisa has kept herself busy with her new favorite hobby, Henry. So
that's so sad.
that's sad.
Yeah,
Henry's
just
just
like
a
Henry's
hobby.
finally getting attention.
I know. And then Angie and Sean have recommitted to working on their marriage, starting with more date nights and alone time. Electra now sleeps in her own bed most of the time. Ha 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 ha. And then after a rough winter with her I don't know, with her friends and 4 unbearable days without a bathtub, Meredith went home and immediately upgraded to a jacuzzi in her rental. Not a homeowner.
So then the producer is like, take me back to the final dinner when the women asked you to leave, Monica. And that's when we get the Zelda Tower puzzle dong, the shrine dong. And Monica's like,
There is so much more to see, but I knew I wasn't going to be heard at that dinner. And there were a lot of things I could have said, but that wasn't the time. There's so much more to the story, and it needs to be said. And trust me, you're all going to want to hear it. Grrr, Mother, I got chills, trembling.
I love Monica giving a promo for her own next interview session. Next time on Monica, the details come out.
Hilarious. And she is very Jen. I mean, they show the reunion where she shows up with a burn book from Mean Girls. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and they all go, oh, God. And her little coda is that she still has not spoken with the other women or her mother since Bermuda. So, yeah, the reunion's gonna be out of control. I can't wait to find out what the ratings were for last night and what the ratings are gonna be for the reunion, because I think it's gonna be literally out of control.
Well, look, this has given us so much. I really am not in the place to ask for anything, but I will request that Linda moderates this reunion, please, please.
Please bring Linda to the reunion. Mary's going to be at the reunion, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be amazing. We've got still a month left of this show. Very excited. What an episode. Wow. Thank you, Bravs. Thank you, Bravo
This
Gods.
recap was so long, I'm surprised the reunion hasn't started to air already. So thanks, everyone, for listening. And we have more recaps to come this week, all the big shows. So stick around for that, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. She's never scary, it's the Green Fairy. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
She's the wind beneath our Jennifer Wing.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain. She's quite the catch, it's Victoria Cotchett.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.